Stone Eyes. A little girl had a terrifying dream. She dreamed that her mother and father had died. They were being buried in a single coffin by people whose eyes were made of black stones. And when the coffin was lowered into the grave, the people began to take the stones out of their eyes and throw them into the pit. But there weren't enough stones. Then they turned to the girl and said she must give them her stones. "I don't have any stones," said the girl. The people grabbed her and took out her eyes. And they really were stones. The girl could still see it all, even though now she had only empty holes where her eyes had been. She woke up crying and couldn't calm down, even though her mother and father were alive and told her it had only been a bad dream. Her mother called the grandmother. The grandmother came over right away and brought 2 small round white stones. She gave them to the girl. "Hide them under your pillow," said the grandmother. "And if the people with stone eyes ever come into your dreams again, give them these white stones instead of your own. Then they'll forget about you." The girl hid the stones under her pillow. The people with the stone eyes never came back into her dreams. But she still didn't remove the stones, even though they made it harder to sleep. A year later, the grandmother died. The girl cried for a long time. She loved her dearly. The next day, they laid her grandmother in a coffin and took her to the cemetery. The girl went too. But when they arrived, she couldn't find her mother or father anywhere. No one around her had seen them either. The coffin was carried to the grave and lowered into the ground. The girl looked around at the people but didn't recognize anyone. She was surrounded by strangers. Only now did she notice that all of them had stone eyes. Everything repeated, just like in the dream. The people pulled the stones from their eyes and threw them into the grave. And again, there weren't enough. They turned to the girl, staring with their empty eye sockets. "Give us your eyes," they said, "so we can bury your grandmother properly." The girl was terrified and began to cry. "Don't be afraid," they said. "Your grandmother will come back to us. She will live in the strange dark dreams of others. And one day, your time will come too. Didn't your grandmother ever tell you?" Then the girl remembered what her grandmother had said. She realized she was dreaming. She reached under her pillow to take out the white stones her grandmother had given her. But under the pillow, there was nothing. Her mother had cleaned her room recently, found the stones, and thrown them away. When her parents returned home from the funeral, they found the girl lying lifeless on her bed. And where her eyes had once been, there were only black holes. Sometimes what feels like just a nightmare is actually a warning. But what do you do when you wake up and it's already too late?